Hi traders, welcome to another session of Market Snapshot. I hope everyone is geared up for the opportunities today. And we all know the conversation among traders is simple. What do you do before you open your charts? You need to look at the fundamental news. You want to look at high impact news that could affect your positions. You want to be ready for that, right? And that will help you even in terms of risk management, because there are guys who don't take news into consideration. And what happens is you're in a good position. Next thing you know, you are out, right? Why? Because you didn't know there was some high volatile news that is coming up. So in these times of uncertainty where a tweet from Trump can change everything, you would rather reduce the risks by making sure that at least you have a bit of knowledge on the scheduled news. And this is where now we'll go to the Forex Factory, the economic calendar. Today being on a Wednesday, we expect to see one high volatile news, which is the ADP non-farm employment change. What is this? Basically, this is data that is released and it measures the change in non-farm, right? Non-agricultural private sector employment in the United States. So basically here you're looking at the growth in the private sector, right? Excluding government employees and farm workers. Now, why is it really important? Consumer spending. Remember, when jobs are created in the private sector, that means more people have disposable income, right? And this will affect the way they will spend. And this one, of course, is one of the drivers of the US economy. Now, this is a precursor to the NFP, and I hope you guys are aware that this time around NFP will be tomorrow, unlike what we are accustomed to every Friday, right? So, because on Friday we have Independence Day in the US, and so that means tomorrow is when we'll have that NFP. So, this is a precursor to that. And if you look at the data over here, uh, last month, that is May. In May, the numbers, okay, let's start off with April. April, the numbers were 60K. May, 37K. June, traders are expecting the numbers to be 99K. Right, this is a big move from that 7K to 99K. So our work as traders is to wait for the actual numbers at around 2:15 p.m. So what happens if this number comes out higher than this, maybe 100,000, 110? The higher the number, the more the volatility. It will be a good case because it will mean that the economy is robust, it's creating jobs, and that will mean and that the possibility that brings in the possibility of high consumer spending. Remember, if you're employed, you have money to spend, right? Unlike someone who's not employed. So these are guys who will have money to spend, and that could overall affect the inflation, right? So if there's so much money circulating in the economy, prices of goods and services tend to go up, right? So with that, now there's that whole anticipation that the Fed could tighten the monetary policy by increasing maybe the interest rate, and that leads to the strengthening of the US dollar. So if this number comes out lower than 99K, maybe 80, 70, the lower the number, the more the volatility, it will suggest that the economy is not doing well, which could lead to reduced consumer spending and also inflation to be down. And so the expectation here is that the Fed, sorry, would have some rate cuts. Remember, Trump has been pushing Powell to reduce the interest rates to even 1% from the current 4.5%, right? You saw that tweet from him yesterday. So uh, that in that sense, then of course that would lead now to the weakening of the dollar. However, we don't expect much volatility going into ADP, not unless of course we have out of the charts numbers. When the numbers maybe are below, if let's say we see at 7K or 30K here, well, that could lead to some volatility. If we saw maybe 120, 130, right, that will lead to some very strong dollar. So that is what we have today on the economic calendar. So what do we need to now do? Go to our charts, maybe seek opportunities in line with these expectations. So I'll go to my MT5. If you have any question, please let me know. I'll be answering them towards the end. Okay, finally, here we are. So yesterday we were doing some analysis with the mentorship class. We were looking for buy opportunities and then some sell on Euro USD. So we can see today price went to the area we had mapped out, forming a possible head and shoulder pattern. If we look at it in that context, this is what you would call a head and shoulder pattern, right? Where you have the left shoulder, the head, and the right shoulder. So could we see a possibility of the market following these analyses? I'll probably want to look at higher time frames to have a clear understanding of where we are at. Yeah, so I'll still maintain these analyses on Euro USD. I'll probably want to see, let me see, lower time frames. I'll probably want to see a bullish move and then a bearish move. One of the areas where I would map out as a possible target is yesterday's low. So going to higher time frames, I probably would want to see the market maybe push up and then push down for around 30 pips or maybe a continuation of the trend. Once again, this is purely educational analysis, right? But then we'll be looking at that push to the order block. There's an order block we had mapped out yesterday here as a possible buy area, 1728. That's around, from our entry, that could be around 30, 64 pips. Yeah, 64 pips from these analyses that we've just done. So that will be my outlook on Euro USD moving forward. That we should probably see that move, and then maybe the next target will be that area. Let's look at GBP USD. Wait, what happened to analysis on GBP USD? We had some analysis here. Okay, it's no longer there. Okay, so we were looking for a bullish move on GBP USD. We had mapped out this area 1370 as a possible sell area. Why? If we go to the H4, we will see something called last week's high, right? This is last week's high, and this area we can see it held based on these candlestick patterns, right? So moving forward, I would want to map out this order block as a possible support area, 3621. Then there's also the moving average as a possible area of support. Now let's go to lower time frames. We can see how price reacted to that price level. Look at this candlestick patterns forming. And so moving forward, what do I want to see? I want to see maybe a bullish move to maybe the Asian high. You see this one? This is the Asian. This is what you call the Asian high, the highest price during Asian session. There's a possibility of us having some sellers here, and so that's an area I would want to see GBP USD test. Once we get there, maybe we could see some bearish move. So you can see something interesting. GU has already tested yesterday's low, right? If you look at this price action, you will see the candlestick patterns. Huh? So that's why you can see some bullish move from this price area. So let's see. Let's look at The wider context, 36.64. So I would want to see price maybe move. Once we get to that 752, we could probably see a bearish move to that 672, that 664. There's a moving average here. That's around 87 pips. That's what I would want to see on GBP USD. But let's go to H4. What do we have here? Yeah, the weekly low is also an area where I would want to see GU test. The weekly low is the lowest price in a week. So the lowest price this week was on Monday, Tuesday, today, Wednesday. So this is also that 672 is also a high probability buy area, right? Then we would prefer to see that 664 being tested. So that's the analysis on GBP USD. I wouldn't want to fall for this bearish move because I know the market will never move in a straight line. So I would want to see some retracement and maybe to this area or even to this area, that 770, before looking at sell opportunities. So that is what we have on GU. What about USD JPY? We were looking for buy trades, as you can see from the arrow. Those who attended the beginners class yesterday, sorry, the mentorship class, we were looking at these two areas as possible buy areas, 142.84 and 142.67. So we can see clearly price came to 142.67. This is where we had buyers, right? And so we were looking at a possible take profit target here or here. So now that this trade played out, let's see, let's reanalyze this. Go to higher time frames. What we had done is we had mapped out last month's low. We had mapped out last month's low as a possible buy area. This one, 142.37, right? And then we had mapped out which was that? I think it was the previous last month's low. Yeah, this is the area we had mapped out. Then we had looked at the moving average. This moving average as a possible area where you have buyers. Then we had also mapped out, was it last month's low? No, last month's low has been sorted. I think there was another block. Oh, let's look at it from time frames. Yeah, I can't really remember what we had mapped out, but we can see that support that played out. So what do we want to see moving forward? I would want to see before this bullish move. I would want to see USD JPY maybe retest this low before pushing up. So the target is this moving average, the 800 DMA. But before we get to that price level, I would probably want to see a test of Asian low. This one, the lowest price during Asian session. What's the Asian session? Is the time period from midnight to 9 a.m., right? So I would want to see this area. There are some buyers here. So we could probably want to see how buyers react to that area. So I wouldn't fall for this bullish move. I would want to see price come down and then push up. Why? Because here there are buyers. I don't have a reason as to why I would buy here. What's the reason? I don't see it based on my trading plan. And even those who've attended the mentorship class, what's the reason? Why would you want to enter this trade? Right? But maybe if the market decides to drop, then you will have a reason because here you have buy as the Asian low. So that's what I would want to see, and then buy. Gold, we were looking for a bullish move to some high up here. Oh, unfortunately, gold didn't get to a high, right? We were looking for gold to get to this area and then drop, right? But then that didn't happen. So let's remove this analysis. Let's have a look at higher time frames. Map out that area again. It was this order block. We wanted to see it tested on H4. So I will still maintain that analysis on gold. I will still want to see gold test this area. So I'll be looking for a bullish move on gold. USD CAD. We were looking for a drop and then a buy. It didn't get to where we had anticipated. So let's map out these afresh. What are we looking at? Go to lower time frames. Let's map out last week's low. That's a possible area where we have some buyers. And then yesterday's high. So this is what I would want to see. I would probably want to see a drop and then a bullish move. 49 pips. USD CHF. Oh, analysis is gone again. Okay, so what do we want to see here? Go to higher time frames, see whether the market has changed. So go to H4. Ideally, I can see an area with sellers. Which area is that? I can see an order block here. This is a bearish order block, the last bullish candle before I move down, right? And then for me to enter this trade, what would I want to see? I want to see USD CHF test an area with buyers. And one area I can see is this one. So I would probably want to see a drop. I want to see a drop, then a bullish move of 72 pips. UT 100, we're looking for buy opportunities. So I would probably want to see UT 100 come down to yesterday's low or this moving average. These are possible areas where UT 100 could come to. That one. So let me see, has this order block been tested? Not yet. So if I were to look for opportunities on UT 100, I would want it to test that order block, then drop. Sorry, what have I? happened? Okay. So I would want to see UT100 do that. Test this order block before dropping to either yesterday's low or to the moving average, the 200 on H1. And then the trend is still bullish. But remember, I've been saying there's some episode that is about to come. I just don't know what episode that is because these gaps will need to be filled on Nasdaq. They'll have to before we see another bullish move. These gaps will need to be closed. So expect something to happen in the US. I have no idea what it is, but the markets have already, you know, lack of a better word, figured out that there'll be some dips in the market. Yeah, let's see. Audi USD. Let's look at higher time frames. What would we want to see? The weekly low is an area where I would want to see Audi USD come to, which is this one, or the moving average. So right now, I'll probably want to see Audi USD test this high, or even get here before dropping. 39, 40 pips. Yeah. NZD USD. These are intraday positions. So long term, we are still looking for the moving average. Interesting. Nice one. So this moving average was tested yesterday, right? The 800. So what I would want to see is price test this area before dropping to either the weekly low, the lowest price that has been set up this week, which was on Monday. Okay, that's an area where you could exit, but there's also this moving average that could act as support. Those are the two areas. So I would want to see a bullish move, maybe test that high before dropping. If not that high, then somewhere around here, around the moving averages, or this neckline here, possible neckline. Yeah? 60.89. In one of these areas are strong resistance areas, but this one is more stronger. Then I think that's it. We've done the majors. Have we done USD JPY? Yes. USD CHF? Yes. USD CAD? Yes. Audi USD, GBP USD, Euro USD, yeah. So that's it. So let me see some of your questions. Yes, you can trade futures on FX Pesa. Morning, everyone. Okay, no question. Wish I knew you last year. Hey, we're here, man. What about GJ? Okay. Let's have a look at GJ. Do I have it on my market watch? Okay. Okay, so GJ, I would probably want to see it test yesterday's high. Yeah, probably when it gets here, we could probably see some bullish move. Then could see some bears come down to test yesterday's low. That's it on GJ. Any other question? I think that's it. Huh? We've done gold. Let's do a recap. So we've said Euro USD, we are looking for a possible bull move and then a bearish move. Okay. Then GBP USD, we've said a possible bullish move and then a bearish move. Kindly review the video. And then USD JPY, we've said a possible sell and then a bullish move. Gold, we've said a bullish move. And then USD CAD, a possible drop and then a bullish move. USD CHF, we've said a possible drop and then a bullish move. UT 100, a possible bullish move and then a bearish move, right? So we could probably see UT 100 test yesterday, the Asian low here, right? So we can see a possible drop, buy and then sell. Audi USD, we've said a possible bullish move and then a bearish move. NZD USD, we said a possible bullish move and then a bearish move. GJ, a possible drop and then bullish move, bearish move. That's it, guys. Thank you for your time. See you tomorrow for those who are in the mentorship class. And those who are in the beginners class, kindly let's meet up at 8 to 9 p.m. today and seek to learn. We really need to learn, right? Don't just trade blindly. That's why we have these free classes by FX Pesa. Okay. Thank you, guys. Bye-bye.